It's Zambia versus Angola in the Women's African Cup of Nations qualifying. Zambia, the Copper Queens, they are ranked 69th right now in the FIFA World Rankings, while Angola, the Welwitschias, are ranked 144th. This game will go down at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, December 5th. Looking at the odds for this game, Zambia come in as huge favorites at minus 2,000 over at Bet365. The draw is 12-1. Angola to get the win is 25-1. A bet on over 2.5 goals is minus 600, and under 2.5 will be plus 350. Now this is leg 2 of this qualifying round. Last game in leg 1 was in Angola. This one will be in Zambia. Last game, Zambia won 6-0, and it was 3-0 at the half. Zambia exploded with 3 goals within 4 minutes near the end of the first half to give them that 3-0 lead going into the half. The goals were by Mwimba. Banda scored one, then she had another through a PK to make it 3-0 at half. Going into the second half, we saw Lunga and Banda score again for a hat-trick, and Kunjamani get the 6th goal to make it 6-0. Now, the only other meeting between these teams was also very recent. It was in the Cassava Women's Cup in October, where Zambia won 3-1 at home. For Zambia, the Copper Queens, they've been in great form since the Women's World Cup. Their last game in the World Cup was a 3-1 win over Costa Rica. Now, since that time, if you look at all their competitions, they are 6-1-1, and they've outscored their opponents 24-6. That one loss was in the Cassava Women's Cup. It was 2-1 to Malawi. So you can also see that they've run deep in competitions as well recently. Zambia's games, they're usually pretty wide open. If you would bet over 2.5 goals in any of their past 18 games, including the World Cup and just beforehand, you would have gone 14-4. For Angola, it's the complete opposite. They don't win very often, and prior to that 6-0 loss they just had against Zambia, they also lost 1-0 and 3-1. However, they do have 2 wins prior to that, making them 2-1-3 in their past 6 games. But if you look at the bigger picture, they have just 4 wins in their past 20 games in all competitions, dating back to 2019 when women's soccer returned to Angola. Now, in those 20 games, Angola has conceded in 17 of them, only keeping clean sheets in those 2 recent wins, and those came over the likes of Comoros and Mauritius. Those are 2 very lowly ranked nations in the FIFA World Rankings. If we look at what could be a best bet for this game, Zambia just won 6-0 in Angola. This leg will be back home in Angola. This should be another route for the Copper Queens if they decide to put any effort in. There are not many markets available to bet on this game, as it's just a qualifying game in Women's African Cup of Nations right now, and it's the day before, so not all markets have opened. So Zambia is also heavily favored, which gives us not much to work with. So I do think the best bet could be creating a same-game parlay where you can go Zambia to be leading at halftime and full-time, so that's them winning at half and at the end of the game. That's what they did last game. And then pairing that with over 4 goals in the game. That's something that's happened in 10 of their past 18 games, that being 4 goals or more. So I'm going to hope for a similar result as leg 1 when they won 6-0 and they were leading at half and at the end. So that would come into plus 120 odds at Bet365. So if you wanted to get a little bit better odds, if you had picked halftime, full-time, and exactly 4 goals, so perhaps a 4-0 win, that would get 5-1 odds. If you went halftime, full-time, and under 4 goals, if you thought they might take their foot off the pedal this game and only win 2-0 or 3-0, you could get plus 300 odds. I'll go with halftime, full-time for Zambia and over 4 goals for my Zambia and Angola Women's African Cup of Nations qualifying, a best bet at plus 120 odds.